Right, well, as the country awaits President Cyril Ramaphosa's address this evening at 7:30, one of the industries that took a knock during COVID-19 lockdown and restrictions is tourism. The industry is likely to suffer yet another blow as the president is anticipated to announce tighter restrictions going into the Easter weekend. For more, let's get some reaction then. We're joined by Tshifhiwa Tshivhengwa. He is the Chief Executive Officer at Tourism Business Council of South Africa. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to the show here on SABC News.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and your viewers.
Are you anxious at all about what the president might say this evening? There are, of course, some expecting that the president might tighten lockdown restrictions again, and that would directly impact your industry, wouldn't it, sir?
No, absolutely. We are anxious, but we have been involved in discussions. We do hope that whatever is going to be announced this evening by the president does not hinder the recovery of the tourism sector. And that has always been our hope, for quite a number of months as, we have been in this pandemic. And we do understand that, sometimes, the president have to walk the tightrope in terms of balancing lives and livelihood. But naturally, we will be concerned. And we do hope that, whatever is going to be announced, do support the growth of tourism, because the only lifeline that we have at the moment is domestic, tourism from the leisure side. So we cannot stop that from going on. And weekends are the times when we do tourism, because during the week there isn't any corporate travel and there isn't any international travel at the moment.
Talk to us about the contents of these discussions, as you call it, that you have had, and I'm assuming with government. What have you put forward in terms of what should be done? I mean, at the end of the day, we are dealing with a pandemic, so I guess there's not very many options that are available to the government in terms of how to maneuver around such a pandemic. So what were some of the perhaps suggestions that you might have then put forward so that the tourism industry doesn't really collapse at the end of the day?
Look, one of the things that we've been talking about for quite a number of months is the fact that we have robust protocols that we have been using for quite a number of months. And also, as a sector, we have not been identified as a sector that is causing super spreading, events. So what we have been saying is that, we have been doing tourism safely. We've had many long weekends that, we managed to get people into our establishments and into various places across the value chain of tourism, and they did tourism in a safe way. So we do hope for us that, interprovincial travel is allowed, it goes on. We do hope that the sale of alcohol is allowed for own consumption, to make sure that the restaurants and, the hotels are able to serve their guests the beverages of their choice. Of course, we do so following the protocols, as I've said, and making sure the sanitization, the social distancing, and so forth and so on. And also, when it comes to curfew, we need to keep in mind that, the airlines, already have schedules. People have already planned their travel over the Easter weekend. And I do know that the last airline that, arrives, in an airport, arrives the latest is 10:30 p.m. So we need to make sure that, the curfew does accommodate those that are arriving late. But what's important is that, whatever is decided, we got to keep in mind that, us as the hospitality and tourism sector, we've already been planning for this weekend. We already bought, stock and groceries and many things to make sure that we serve our guests. So we cannot stop. If we stop, we don't have anything to do with those groceries and many things that we have bought. You can imagine a guest house that have already spent some money to make sure that, they entertain their guests in a safe way, having, that stock sitting, at home. That's not something that we desire. So we do hope that, we have been a compliant industry. We have been playing by the rules, and we do hope that we are allowed to continue, to ensure that many people go back to work, and will continue to impact the economy, and will continue to resurrect tourism, from where it was.
Mr. Tshivhengwa, how has the recovery sort of been since when restrictions were sort of eased? I mean, do you think that you were able to really sort of make a lot of ground in terms of your recovery as an industry? I mean, there was very many concerns about the fact that very many of the people in the industry have had to kind of close shop, have had to stop business because they just simply couldn't recover from that initial first sort of hard lockdown. But in general, as an industry, if you look at from then to now, has there been a general sense that there is recovery or hope of that recovery for the industry?
Look, there is hope for the recovery. We have seen a good, recovery from domestic point of view. As I've said, that's domestic leisure, although it's not enough because, if you look at the infrastructure that we have in the country, we've built many hotels because of the numbers that we're receiving pre-COVID for both domestic and international. So, in the absence of corporate travel and government travel, we are left with domestic leisure travel. So that is going on. That's being done in a safe way, and we've seen progress when it comes to that. We still have international that we still have to deal with. As you know, many countries have banned their citizens from coming to South Africa. So we need to deal with the PR element of that. We need to put the right messages from the scientific, medical scientific point of view about the variant that we found here in South Africa. So until we get all aspects of tourism to really return, our recovery is going to be slow. It requires all aspects of tourism, including the meetings, conferences, and incentives to go on. Once we have that going, it gives us, that full scope of tourism, and our recovery is going to, keep moving, on the pace that we so desire. But at the moment, there is something that's happening, and it's domestic leisure travel that's happening, and hopefully that continues.
All right, Mr. Tshivhengwa, thank you so very much for giving us your time here on SABC News. Much appreciated, sir.
Thank you very much.